Good morning, folks. Got a truck in the shop this morning for a complaint of low coolant. Truck is using coolant essentially, and as you can see here, driver, the owner, had manipulated the system a little bit and put a magnet on here to get them by. Coolant is drained out of it. I've already kind of started the diag on this. I went ahead and did the block test, and it does have combustion gases in the cooling system. I'll show you what's going on over here. Right when this guy showed up, I could smell the coolant, and I popped the hood, and sure enough, right there, you can see all the coolant staining. It's coming out of this hose. This is not factory. KENWORTH does not have a hose that runs off your pressure cap from the factory. Someone added this on here. And this is a new truck to the customer. It is a 2019 KENWORTH T680 with about 368,000 miles on it. And this was an auction find. He bought this off an auction, I think from Ritchie Bros, I believe. But when we have combustion gases in the cooling system, it's an indication of about three different things. Well, two different things, really. Either a blown head gasket or a cracked head. That is pretty common on the MX13 to crack a head or to sink a liner. One other issue, and I've only seen it one time, is the EGR cooler will fail to the point where you'll get exhaust gases coming from your manifold into the cooling system, and it'll start pushing coolant out the reservoir. And it'll do it even worse than this. I mean, you can have an antifreeze jug zip tied right here, and it'll start filling up the antifreeze jug, and it'll do it so bad. But just to be safe, I went ahead and pressure tested the compressor head. And as you can tell, this compressor, it looks like it was recently replaced. I mean, it doesn't look like it's that old. It looks fairly new. You can kind of see the bolts down here. Right there are rusty, which is an indication that they're new bolts. Everything would have been painted from the factory. So I'm going to say the compressor had been changed at one point. I went ahead, because it's a fairly easy test to do, and I just tested and make sure the compressor head wasn't giving us any issues. Paccar has openly admitted that you can get a compressor head to fail the block test, and it'll pressurize the cooling system. And it's from all the carryover that comes out of this compressor. And I mean carryover as far as oil and carbon. So a lot of times you'll see this discharge line right here it'll get plugged up really bad with carbon. And yeah, so I went ahead and did that. This is a really easy test to do. You get the coolant drained out of it, and you have two coolant lines. You have a coolant line, it's your supply, I believe. Anyways, you have a coolant line here and a coolant line here. And you take the coolant lines off, drain the coolant, take the coolant lines off, pop the fittings out, and you get Boss O-ring plugs. I got my plugs out of a VOLVO D13 cylinder head, I believe what it was. Anyways, and you just want to supply shop air to it, or I think it's like 125 if I remember correctly. You don't want 175 or anything like that, but supply shop air to it, and you get a couple plugs. And in this plug here, see if I can pop this out of here. Yeah, here. You actually want to go and put pinholes in it, tiny little pinholes. And this one you want to cap off. But you pressure test it. You have this in your discharge port, and then you fill it up with soapy water, and you observe if you have any air bubbles coming out here. If you don't have any air bubbles coming out, then your air compressor head is good. So at this point, I'm going to write up an estimate to remove the cylinder head and inspect the cylinder head for cracks. And then obviously we're going to check the head gasket and liner protrusion too, to make sure we don't have any issues with that. This customer does have a truck that it was totaled out. It got jackknifed, and the sleeper was all banged up in it. They totaled the truck out, and it has a really good running EPA 17 MX13 that he is willing to go ahead and throw in here. So it just depends on what's gonna happen, what we find. So if we find that it just needs a cylinder head, we're probably just gonna put a cylinder head on it. But if it has a sunk liner in it, it's gonna be a lot easier, well, a lot less money wise in just parts and labor, just to put that other engine in and to get him going again, you know. And we can go ahead and, I think that truck, he said it was up in Vegas somewhere, and he's talking about having that towed up here, and then I'm going to start parting the truck out for him. So I will have, it looks like in the future, possibly another EPA 17 rebuilt, ready to go for somebody, and then maybe I think it has a 12-speed Endurance in it, and then the rear diffs, I don't know what the rear diffs are. I know this has the Paccar rear diffs in it. Yep, yeah, you can see right there, those are the Paccar diffs. I can't remember if he has, I can't remember if he said it probably has Eaton's in it, but we will see. Too bad, really good running truck. He said he was getting about 8.5 miles to the gallon out of this thing, which is just incredible. You know, that's the downfall, is lots of issues with the Paccar, with the newer Paccars, and but the trade-off is when they run good, you get really good fuel mileage. So anyways, this will be a part one. I'll have another video coming up with removal of the cylinder head and an update of what we actually found. All right, talk to you later.